Hello, grade 12 A-level students. I'm going to explain about amino acid. This is the continuation from 27.5 of amides. Now, this is amino acid. Amino acids have two functional groups. One functional group is amine and the other one is carboxylic acid. In many compounds containing two or more functional groups, the reactions of one group can be considered independent of those the other group. They are often widely separated and dissimilar to each other. In two amino acids, however, the two groups are near to each other. What is more, they are opposite chemical types. Amine is basic, while the COOH is acidic. Interaction between the two is inevitable. Okay, so in here, from the first introduction, we know that the amino acid containing two functional group. One is amine and the other one is carboxylic acid. And then now let's discuss the physical and chemical properties. Alkyl amines and small chain aliphatic carboxylic acids are liquids. It is written small chain aliphatic carboxylic acids. Small chain meaning the carbon atom is not more than 100 or not more than 50 or on only between 1 until 10, which is considered small. How small it is? It is they are, if the carboxylic acid still exists in liquids, it means it has small chain. Aliphatic means straight carbon atoms. There is no hexagon structure, there is no ring structure. The amino acids are all solids. This is makes the difference. We know that alkyl amines, they are liquids. And aliphatic, small chain aliphatic carboxylic acids, also liquids. But small amino acids, they are already solid. The properties, the physical property, all amino acids, they have high melting and boiling points, often decomposing before they can be heated to a sufficiently high temperature to melt them. And they are soluble in water because they have hydrogen bonding. This hydrogen bonding is quite powerful. Why? Because one dipole, one side has amine. Amine has hydrogen bonding. And then the other side, the other dipole, the other end of the molecule containing OH. We know OH is also hydrogen bonding. That makes them have high melting and boiling point. In another contrast to amines and carboxylic acid, they are insoluble in organic solvents such as methyl benzene. It means that in amines and carboxylic acid, carboxylic acid and amines, they still able to dissolve in methyl benzene because carboxylic acid contains van der Waals. The alkyl group has van der Waals, while this one, the amines, also containing alkyl groups before the alkyl bonded to NH2. So the alkyl containing alkyl groups, the longer the alkyl groups, the stronger the van der Waals is, similar to carboxylic acid. Okay, now let's see comparison of some properties of simple amino acids, glycine and alanine, with those of simple amine and a simple carboxylic acid. Glycine, with this formula, has melting point which is lower than alanine. and then the Ka and also Kp. We know Ka is weak acid dissociation constant, Kp is weak base dissociation constant. In table 27.4, comparing the properties of two simplest amino acids with those of a simple amine and simple carboxylic acid. Apart from their extremely high melting points, another clear difference between amino acid and their monofunctional counterparts is their reduced basicity and acidity. Okay, this one is written here. Ethylamine is an alkyl amine. Alkyl amine is basic, while propanoic acid is a weak acid. With the boiling points and the melting points lower than the amino acid. We know amino acid is an amphoteric because it has the acid dissociation constant and also basic dissociation constant. In here written, alanine is 100,000 times less acidic than propanoic acid. This large reduction in basicity and acidity is readily explained by the idea that the acidic and basic group within amino acid molecule have already react with each other. How come it react with each other? Because in one molecule there is a basic and there is an acid. So this one, the acid and the alkali of the molecule react together, and this product is called as internal salt or called as Sweeter ion. From the German word Sweeter means hybrid. Sweeter ionic structures were first proposed by the German chemist in 1897. A Sweeter ion is a molecule that containing both cation and anion groups. The salt-like nature of Sweeter ion also explains the high melting points and the solubility characteristics of amino acids. It is thought that all amino acids exist as Sweeter ion or dipolar ions in solution and in the solid lattice. Their low acidity is therefore due to proton donation from the ammonium group rather than from the carboxylic acid group. So the low acidity is due to proton donation from the amino group rather than from the carboxylic group. So it's written here the acidity, the low acid, and then in this value is directly comparable with the ionization of other ammonium salts. Is written here. Yes, you can see this due to the proton donation from the ammonium group. One further characteristic property of two amino acids is their optical activity. We know if there is an optical activity, it means that amino acid containing a chiral center. So glycine possesses a chiral carbon atom having 4 different atoms or groups attached to it. There are 2 distinct and different ways in which these 4 groups can arrange themselves around the central carbon atom. All amino acids derived from the hydrolysis protein have the L configuration. L is LEVO, and then D is dextro. So here there is a structure of alanine. One is you see the COH, one on the right, this is one on the left. This is the NH2 and this is the mirror of each other. If there is a mirror, so there are two enantiomers of alanine. Enantiomers we call because it has a optical active. Now let's see the reactions of amino acids. Because the dipolar form of amino acid is in equilibrium with a small amount of unionized form, amino acids show many of the typical reactions of amines and carboxylic acids. The amino group can be acylated. Acylated, it means it can react with acyl chloride, and reacts with nitrous acid. It can react with acyl chloride and also react with nitrous acid. Let's see the structure here. Amino acid react with acyl chloride. This one will form an amide. There is an amide linkage here. Is in this part, and HCO is an amide linkage. And also here there is a carboxylic acid. So when amino acid react with acyl chloride, there are two functional groups. One functional group is new, which is called as an amide linkage, and the other one is carboxylic acid. And here next, when amino acid react with nitrous acid, it will become an alcohol and carboxylic acid, and also the presence of bubbles of nitrogen gas. And then the second, carboxylic acid can be esterified. So the carboxylic acid can form an ester when it reacts with an alcohol. And then the third, amino acid can act as buffer. Why it can act as buffer? Because it can react with acid and alkali. So here, on adding acid, the amino acid react with acid. There is the amine accept the hydrogen ion, accept the proton, because as a base. On adding alkali, the carboxylic acid will react with the alkali to form water by giving its proton. And then the fourth, in addition to the reaction of amine and carboxylic acid group, amino acid with side chain that contain functional group also show reactions of that group. In figure 27.18 shows the side chain of some amino acid. For example, serine reacts with phosphorus 5-chloride to form a chloroalkyl side chain. Kerosene reacts with bromine water just as phenol does. Okay, what does it mean in here? We know that in standard amino acid, without any side chain, without any side group, the amino acid reacts with acyl chloride. Which part that reacts with acyl chloride? It is the amine, to form an amide. And then also the amine side chain react with the nitrous acid to form alcohol. The second part, the carboxylic acid. The carboxylic acid of the amino acid reacts with alcohol to form an ester. And then the fourth, amino acid can act as buffer. It can react with acid and alkali at the same time. And then now with the side chain, contain functional group show the reaction. Okay, let's see the figure 27.18. This is the structure of glycine. This is alanine. This is valine. Which one is the site? The site is this one, the R group. Well, this is called as the standard of amino acid. Also in here, glycine is H, and then alanine is CH3, and then valine CH3, and then phenylalanine come from phenyl. From there is a structure of benzene with this one, methyl benzene reacts with this one, and then there is a tyrosine. This is already the amino acid names. It's not necessary for us to learn what is the specific name. We just know that this is tyrosine, phenylalanine, lysine, cysteine, serine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, arginine. And then the fifth, peptide bond formation. It means amino acid can react with amino acid itself, undergo condensation reaction between themselves to form an amide, which is called as peptide. If the peptide composed of two amino acid is called as dipeptide. Notice that the dipeptide alanine and glycine not the same as glycine alanine. It is a structural isomer of it. Okay, so this is alanine is shortened into ala, and then glycine gly, ala gly. If three amino acids join together, a tripeptide is formed. This peptide and tripeptide and polypeptide is useful when we are studying biology about the DNA. In chemistry, we learn the structure, how it is combined, how it is formed, and what are the chemical properties. Notice that the prefix di and tri refer to the number of amino acid in the peptide, not the number of peptide bond. So in here is written tripeptide gly ala ser, meaning there is a glycine, alanine, and serine. Okay, so for today, I'm explaining already about the amino acid, the chemical and physical properties of amino acid. In order to summarize the chemical properties of amino acid, again, amino acid reacts with acyl chloride. The amine will become amide group, and then amine reacts with nitrous acid to form alcohol, and then the alcohol reacts with carboxylic acid of the amino acid to form an ester, and then the amino acid can react with acid and alkali, which is buffer, and then the last amino acid reacts with amino acid itself to form a peptide, tripeptide, or polypeptide.